So did the Atlanta Hawks, and again, from a more immediate view, did the Hawks save their season last night? Because here's what would have happened if the Hawks would have lost last night. Okay. Number one, you would have flipped with Washington. You got a break that Toronto lost last night. Fred Van Vliet was just beside himself about the refereeing in that game. So okay, they took a loss. But if you'd have lost last night and you flip with Washington and you're looking at potentially staring at 0-4 on the road trip, and you've got the back-to-back where you play tomorrow night, then you play on Saturday at home, but albeit against Boston, things really would have gotten sideways. And you would have been right there with Toronto, Washington. Those teams could have passed you, separating themselves from Miami and all that. So in some little microcosm of the universe, the Hawks figured out a way to get a victory last night where they were down by as much as 15 points and may have sort of saved the season for whatever that is. Okay. We said yesterday on the podcast, I don't think that they're a number 6 seed. I don't think that they can get themselves up to that point. They're still 4.5 back of Brooklyn, who didn't play last night. And some things worked out for you, right? You beat Washington. Toronto lost last night to the Clippers, right? So that's good that they lost to not put them on your heels. Now you're a game and a half ahead of Toronto. You're 2 games ahead of Washington. The Miami Heat lost last night. They lost to Cleveland. So you gained a game on them for the number 7 position in the standings, to where now you're, what are you? A game and a half back of the Miami Heat at 33-33. And look, it's even if the Hawks split this series, okay, it's not at least a total disaster when it comes to playing Washington, right? I know it's going to be hard to win twice on a team's home court, but getting that first one makes you feel a little bit better that, okay, we could go on the road. I think the Hawks had lost 5 road games in a row. We went on the road. We got a victory. We beat a team that's nipping on our heels. Yeah, they're not very good either, but, we survived Porzingis scoring 43. We survived Kyle Kuzma and Bradley Beal having 20, 22, 23 points. We survived some of that stuff, and we found a way to win. Because now, if you win, you feel like a whole new generated team. And look, my personal opinion, all I'm playing for is the 8 seed right now, 7 or 8 seed. Okay. I don't think the 6 seed is realistic, but it was a lot more realistic that you were going to be 9-10 than you were going to be the 6 seed. And because you're going to hold serve and you feel some confidence that you picked up a road win, you snapped that streak, you can beat Washington on their floor, it should give you some confidence, and then let the chips fall where they go on Saturday. Do I think they're going to beat Boston on Saturday? No, but we'll talk about that another time here. So in a little microcosm of all things and stuff like that, this was a good win for the Atlanta Hawks. Trey played well. John Collins had some good moments. Got, some 10 points, double-digit scoring from Jalen Johnson off their bench. They found a way to come back from being as much as, they were down at their peak 15 points. They spent a lot of time being down 10 or 12 points in the game. And they should feel pretty good about this. DeJounte Murray did not play well last night. I expect him to play better. I expect that he will have a better game come Friday night. So there are a lot of things that you just kind of go in there and go, we got a victory tonight. We beat Washington. We snapped our 5-game road losing streak. We know we can do this now. DeJounte didn't play all that well, but Trey played really well. We didn't have all of our stars that played really well. Exhale. And now you get some confidence going into the second game against the Washington Wizards, or whatever they're called, the Boulets, or whatever they are known as now, and their pink uniforms and all that kind of stuff. Jeez. Anyway, so last night was a big win for the Hawks. It may not feel like that. It may not seem like that. But when you're down to a minuscule number of games, right? You're down to just a handful of games, and you're trying to make up ground. You're trying to stay ahead of some people. You're trying to catch some people. And things worked out more than just the Hawks winning. Things worked out for the Hawks last night. With Toronto losing, with the Miami Heat losing, things worked them. It was a good night all the way around for the Atlanta Hawks. So in the microcosm, little tiny bubble of where we're trying to live right now, forget a year from now, forget what in the universe of where we are at right now, this was a big win for the Hawks. And maybe it was even a season saving kind of win last night, that if you can hold serve in that 8 seed, that's all I'm expecting. Have the 7 or 8 seed, and then you win one game, and you can go into the first round of the playoffs as the 7 seed. That's all I'm looking for at this point. Not worried about 6s, but I am worried about 9 or 10. All right. Besides making Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen every day, make sure you make Locked On Sports Today your second listen. The biggest stories of the day, instant reactions, big game recaps, and the take of the day, available on Odyssey, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get all of your favorite podcasts from.